Yes.
we have expanded our knowledge in things quite to a very, very wide breadth that
Yes.
almost nobody anymore who is specialized has the capacity to be able to accommodate other things alongside the specialization. What do you think of that?
I think that's well, I think it's utterly wrong, for one thing. People complain about the time and dedication needed to actually learn all of these sorts of crafts, all of these sorts of skills, all of these fields of knowledge, that you can't just focus on just that you must focus on just one of them. Well, yes, there's a merit to focusing on one and having yourself honed in on that, but every single one of them informs the others, and this is true especially in the humanities, which is sadly becoming one of the most hyper specialized one. I remember there's such things as specializing, for example, in the study of children's books, which, yes, that's a great thing to study, but the truth is that all of these things are connected, and the entirety of a university is a universal value, as you said, knowledge to God. Yes, because God isn't just a person, but encompasses the whole of human knowledge, that everything comes from him because they are in him as well. And that by knowing things, you come to understand him.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a good way of putting it, for example. In the past, knowledge was very structured. You had to study things in a very progressive way, which is still true, especially in the natural sciences and mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
But in the humanities, even today, you study grammar first because you need to know how to, for example, spell, you need to know how to write, But grammar in the old times, it wasn't just about learning how to spell, wasn't just learning about, how to write, but also how to interpret writings, about interpreting authoritative sources, because in the Middle Ages, they were rediscovering writings from antiquity. These writings they realized that in antiquity there was an idea of universality. These authors like Aristotle, like Plato, they wrote about the entire expanse of knowledge in that time. They wrote about law, they wrote about ethics, they wrote about metaphysics, and thus you can't understand, for example, ethics without understanding what Aristotle meant by the doctrine of the mean, which is essentially a reenactment of a cosmic order in a sense. So you need to have that understanding. In the Middle Ages, this came about through the liberal arts, for example. In the natural sciences, back then, there was this understanding there was an order to the cosmos. And thus, the liberal arts, even though today it's associated with the humanities, liberal arts, you had to understand pure mathematics, arithmetics. So the quadrivium was essentially the study of the arithmetic, of geometry, of music, and astronomy. And you think, why is music there? Why is music part of the quadrivium, which is essentially understanding the cosmic order, of understanding the universe? Well, music back then wasn't just studying the practice of music, but understanding the harmony that musical patterns create in time, because the synchronicity of music, how they synchronize together, how they're dependent on a specific longevity, how these longevities tend to inform one another. That is a reflection of the way that the cosmos is ordered.